What's up, you beautiful, sexy, outstanding people? I got a lot of questions asking about, Zach, how do you coach the stack with someone who is not well versed in the dark arts? Well, I happen to have my wonderful nephew, B, here to take us through that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a full assessment on him, see where he's limited, and then I'll basically talk through my thought process and how I'm coaching this and why I'm selecting a particular move to teach someone who doesn't know this stuff, the stack, right? You've never seen me treat anyone. I've never treated you before. Is that correct? Yeah. Let's get after it. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, I usually start when I'm working with someone with the lowers. I'm not going to go through the full testing. I'll just go through some of the big things that I look for when I'm working with someone. So the first thing that I'm going to test lower body-wise is hip flexion or knee to chest. And we're going to just make sure, just go ahead and let your leg relax, that we're not getting any wild and crazy deviations. I'm keeping my eye on his ab wall and his other leg just to see if there's any movement. And I stop once I hit first resistance, which is right about at 95. All right? B's a stiff boy. From here, we'll check external and internal rotation. So ER is about 60, and then IR is about 10, 15, somewhere around there. Okay? For the right side, we're going to do the same song. That left side, good Lord, man, it's been a long day. All right, we got about 95 again, 60, and same thing, about 10, 15 degrees. So we can see that he's got an internal rotation loss of flexion at 90, 95, which also corresponds with a loss of IR. So then you might wonder, well, what's the straight leg raise going to be? And I'm glad you asked. Let's see what we got. Just let your leg completely relax. Yep, chilling. So I'm just making sure that we're not getting any wild motion on the other side. And he's got about 65, 70, somewhere around there, which is limited in the IR range. And we'll look at the same side here. So he's got that early ER, and right there is about when I would call it, because we're getting a little bit of movement through the abs. Same thing about 65, 70. So loss of IR-based measures in the lowers. Now, folks, what infrasternal angle are you thinking you're going to see? Well, that's what we're going to look up next. So with here, and I'm going to try to grab this camera to show you. If you go ahead and lift your shirt up right quick. And if we look, we'll just go about that far since he's done some funny stuff with his chest. So you can see if I draw a line on the ISA, so the sternum or the xiphoid's right there. There's the bottom of the rib cage. I'm going to go on the side. You can see that he's narrow on that side. And then same thing. So that's a very acute angle. We're going to say he's a narrow ISA on both, which, given the loss of IR-based measures, kind of makes sense. So I'm going to just measure both same time, just like that. And so the angle's roughly that right there. So pretty narrow infrasternal angle. Now the shoulders. I'm just going to quickly go through flexion, ER, and IR. So let's fix the camera real quick. There we go. Okay. So and I'll try to do my best so you can see. But ER is going to be, he's got a lot, about 95, 100. But then what do you think about IR, folks? Given that he's a narrow, he's going to be a little bit limited. That's probably about 50 degrees, we'll say. So we can see that that's a loss there. Flexion, we would probably anticipate it's not all the way, given the IR loss. I'm waiting to see if there's any deviation. Right about there, it's pretty good. It's almost full. And then we're going to look at the same thing on this side. So a lot of ER, probably about 90, 95. And then actually pretty good internal rotation. We'll call that 90. Nice job. Shoulder flexion is right there. So he's almost full with all those. Cool. So basically, Long story short, with my wonderful nephew, loss of internal rotation-based measures, narrow infrasternal angle, loss of IR on the right shoulder. We're going to teach him to stack so he can talk to Zach. So the move that I'm going to choose is something that's going to be more internal rotation bias since he has a fair amount of the external rotation measures that we'd normally look at. In this case, Lewitt position is a pretty solid choice. So what I'm going to have B do is I want your feet up against the wall, 90-degree angle at the hips and knees. Yep. And normally what I would do is I would demo this, but just for the sake of time, I'm actually going to try to verbally coach B through this. So the goal with this is you want to feel the back of your legs working and your abs, but in a specific order, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this between your knees. Go ahead and give it a little squeeze. I'm going to make sure he's got everything in a straight line. So you might feel a little bit of inner thighs with this. I'm using that to open up the infrapubic angle. And then what I want you to do, B, is you're going to put your hands like right here on your lower stomach. And without moving your feet, I want you to curl your hips up. So think your back pocket's going towards your knees without engaging your abs. So you're going to kind of lift your knees up towards the ceiling.
What?
So watch me.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Yep. So you might feel a little...
Can I push off?
I don't want you pushing. You're going to curl your hips up. So it's going to look like... So you're here. So I don't want to do that on the window. So imagine I'm here like this, right? Abs are relaxed. You're going to... You see how they stay relaxed? So I'm going to lift up like this.
But you're pushing them against your feet.
I'm not pushing. I'm holding position, and I'm getting a little bit of lift like that. Yep. And so this is how I do it. Like, we focus on the pelvic component first because we want to teach this bottom up.
That's so confusing. Nope.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Yeah. So what we're seeing on the camera, and I'll go ahead and do this a couple times because I'm going to kind of talk through what I'm seeing. Go ahead and do that again. So I'm looking right here, right? And you can see that his abs come up as he's lifting, right? So what's going on then is if he has a difficult time accessing hamstrings and glutes to create the posterior tilt we need, he's going to use rectus, damn near gluteus, abdominis to try and complete that. And so then what happens is this comes down, the abdominal pressure increase pushes the abdominal contents forward. And guess what? That's going to down the pump handle, which is going to create a loss of internal rotation. Pretty cool, right? How it all links together. And so we're just going to keep working this until B gets it. And this is like literally how a session would go with my supreme clientele.
I'm struggling here.
Yeah. So if you're struggling with this, here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and arch your back like you're J-Lo or Kim Kardashian. So arch, stick your butt out, and then now slowly curl from that position. So go ahead and lift your knees up towards the ceiling. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
But I feel like I'm using a lot of calves.
You're feeling your calves?
I'm pushing off the wall a lot. I don't know if I'm...
So go ahead and relax. I mean, I felt the hamstrings kick in a little bit. So feet chilling, give a nice squeeze. Slowly arch your back. Yep. And then slowly unarch from that position. Just lift your knees up towards the ceiling. Yes, there you go. Feeling this, Co, a little bit?
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice. So just do a few of those. See what you get, B. And so I want him to get this consistently first before I move on to incorporating any breathing. Yeah, and then just keep your hand right there just so you can make sure that you're getting it. Nice. Doing okay?
Yeah.
Are you feeling the back of your legs work?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was trying to use like...
You want to keep a little bit of contact in the wall, but you're not pushing really hard. Excuse me. Got it?
Yeah.
Cool. So I feel pretty good about him getting the pelvic component. Now we're going to incorporate some breathing into this. And it's going to be okay. You're going to feel some abs on this. That's normal. Here's what I want you to do. So you're going to get the squeeze and the tuck. We're going to go 5 breaths, but here's how I want it to be. You want silent in through the nose, so no one hears you. Exhale is an open mouth, drawn out sigh like you're fogging a glass window. Now, as you exhale, you want the lower abs to get smaller. So you know how you were pooching in the beginning and how your abs were kind of coming out? I want that to get smaller. So it's going to be long. Yes.
So I go up when I'm exhaling?
So you hold up the whole time. So squeeze, slowly curl, and just hold that. So you're going to feel these hamstrings working a lot. Yep. Exhale, get everything out. Good. In through the nose. Great. Make it a lot slower, your exhale, that is. So I'm emphasizing the exhale first. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes. A little laughter is okay. Exhale. Keep it going. Get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. Awesome job. One more. Exhale. Get that smaller. Rest. Nice. How was that? You can go relax your hips. No problems?
No.
Cool. So big focus for you is you just got to keep exhaling, get everything out, and make sure the ab wall gets smaller. So this has to come down, right? So like if you look at me. Yep. So let's try it again. So get that tuck without the abs. Yep. Inhale, exhale. Get everything out, make it smaller, make it smaller, make it smaller. There's a couple things that I'm going to point out later with the inhale that I want, but for right now, he's not getting a ton of neck tension, so we're just going to emphasize that long, slow, drawn out exhale. Open mouth sigh, open mouth. You want to get everything out, B. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Awesome. Keep it going. Let that ab wall get smaller. Let it get smaller. One more. Perfect. And rest. How was that?
Good.
No problems?
No.
Cool. And you felt back your legs working and a little bit of ab at the end of the exhale?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going to have you go one more time, and then we're going to just recheck some of those measures just to see what we got. Okay? So you're going to squeeze, get the tuck. Yep, just really make the ab wall smaller, get it all out. Nice. Exhale, get everything out. Ab wall smaller, ab wall smaller. So I want that just to minimize that rectus activity. So I'm not touching the inhale much because he's not getting neck tension. Ideally, we would focus on a little bit of that next, but I want him to get the exhale first. So that might just be all we get for this first session. Awesome. Perfect. And rest. Is that okay? Yeah. No issues? Now, what we're going to do is I want to just see what happens. So we'll see if we got any range of motion changes as we did some of this stuff. So I'm going to take this away. Go ahead and slide up just as you were. And we'll just run through all that same testing and see what's crack-a-lacking. Arms are going to be chilling at your sides. You feel okay? Yeah. Nice and chill. Ready to take a nap. So hip flexion's about the same. I'd say we got a little improvement though in IR. Yeah, I mean, it's probably about 10 degrees, yeah. Nothing to write home about, but not bad. Let's see what we got on this side. So that's about 100. I'd say it's about the same. But big improvement there. Yeah, that one's a lot more. So really quick change. And we didn't really emphasize, like a lot of times when I'm coaching someone through this, I would eventually get to the point where we'd focus a little bit more on fine tuning the inhale, add some reaching to the mix, a lot of stuff like this. The other thing you were limited in was IR on this side. So we'll just see what we got with that. Just go ahead and let your arm relax best you can. That's a lot better. Yeah, remember, you didn't have much.
Yeah, but this is no.
Yeah, I mean, that was the side that was limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even do anything to your shoulder, so pretty cool. So that's just by you exhaling, and then when you were getting the inhale, you had enough ab tension that allowed that to fill. Pretty cool stuff, huh? Yeah. So, and that would basically be like me teaching someone to stack. If I wanted to kick it up a notch, I might teach this in another move as well. Well, you know what? Since we're here, I want to see if I can get you a little bit more hip internal rotation. So I'm just going to see if we can coach you through one more thing. Internal was the other way. So that was the way that we were trying to, so like this one, you know how like flexion's kind of like meh. And then we got like a little bit, but nothing to write home about. I want to see if I can get it in one other position. So why don't you go hands and knees? So I'm going to have you go in quadruped like this. So you're going to be here. I want you to do basically the same subtle tuck that we did on that last one without crunching, okay? So you don't want a big hump like this. So it's tuck. You're going to push your chest away. Same thing, no crunching. And I want the same 5 breaths like you did before B, just no sagging down as you exhale. So it's all right? So, and the reason why I chose this is because it's a nice way to incorporate a reach.
No abs at all?
You can feel the abs on the exhale.
No,
But I'm
trying to figure out.
Yeah. So put your hands a little bit narrower. So I chose this because that way we'll get a little bit of a reach component into the mix. The 90 degrees of hip flexion and compression that's happening from the weight bearing is hopefully going to get some internal rotation. Yeah, so let everything sag first. And now slowly curl your hips underneath you just like you did before. Nice. Are your abs kicking in a little bit? So go ahead and relax. Thank you for telling me that. Try it again. Make it subtle, easy, effortless. Yeah, that's tough, isn't it? Do it again. And then back down. Good. Walk forward just a little bit. Bring your hands a little bit more forward too. So I'm going to take them out of that degree of hip flexion just to see if that helps. Go ahead and go again. Tough, isn't it? Try this. Push your chest away from the ground. So you couldn't get, now this you're going to get a little bit of ab with it, that's okay. And on the reach, I'm looking for it to be nice and flush in the rib cage. Get a nice, yeah, you're going to have a little bit of ab with the reach. Lean forward just a hair more. Good. Yeah, you're crunchy as can be. This might not be the best choice for you. Go ahead and back down. Back down. Let everything sag. So arch your back. Stick your butt out. Other way, yeah. Now just slowly curl from that position. Yeah, that's tough, isn't it, man? Okay, so has a hard time in quadruped, so let's see if we can make it a little easier if that will help. So I'm going to have you go down to forearms. Boom, boom, and then they're going to be flat. So I just made the lever arm a little smaller. Arch your back. Try the tuck from that position. Subtle, only move with the hips.
Do I move forward like this?
So when you do it, watch me. I want here, it's this. So it's just me, it's like a really subtle movement at the hips, like that. And then it's a subtle movement at the upper body. And then you're going to do the same breathing. Bring your legs in a little bit closer, because I don't want them really wide. Right there, that's good there. Subtle tuck. Yeah. So it's the same process, right? When he's trying to tuck, he's using everything to get it. So in this position, go ahead and relax. Just, I want this to be chilling. I really want a nice subtle at the hips.
No.
So arch your back. Yep. Slow curl, slow. There, that's better. Back down. So then I'm just isolating. It's the same concept though, folks. It's just getting him to tuck at the hips, back down. Go again. This has to stay relaxed. So really sag your butt. Yep, and then just this motion right here. But just try to get it from the pelvis only. There you go. It's better. Keep it going. Imagine you tuck your tail between your legs like a dog.
I don't have a tail.
You actually do, but there, that's better.
It's all abs.
It's better than what it was. There. You still getting a lot of abs? All right. And go ahead and go.
Oh.
Yeah. That was it. That was nice. Well, and I noticed, and you could see it, you weren't getting as much upper body movement. Try it again.
Nope. Are my abs flexed?
Less. Keep it going. Yes. Yep. Back down. Go ahead and go again. There.
I'm gonna get a calf cramp.
Do you feel like you're using your calves a little bit?
Well, I'm trying to flex my hamstrings to do it.
Well, yeah, that's what you want. But you don't want to actively squeeze them, right? You want the tilt to create them kicking in. There. And so what I'm looking for when I say there is he's not getting much movement up here. I can see it just pretty much isolated to pelvis. There you go. Are you feeling it in the hamstrings a little bit?
Nope.
No. Go ahead and line your back. I'm just curious. It's hard work. Go ahead and straighten out all of it. Yeah. Actually opened up a little more just from working on the tuck. But I think we can do better than that. So that's not a good choice for you because you don't have the reach component. And so it's okay. Sometimes you're going to fail when you're doing this stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good. I still think we could get a little bit more. So if that's difficult, the other one that we could try is an offset or a squat on the wall. So let's do this. Go ahead and stand up. And we'll use the doorway to get it. And so what we'll have Mr. B do is this one I'll demo. So what you want on this is, there we go. So you want to be about your foot length away from the door like this, okay? You're going to put this between your knees, and I want you to think a lot of the same concepts like we did with the first move. So the tuck without abs, all that. So you're going to squeeze the block, see if you can get the tuck without the abs, and just squat down a little bit, just like this. Okay? You might feel a little bit of quad. Maybe take one arm. Let's go right. This left hand's going to monitor the abs. Same 5 breaths like you did with the first move. Just reach. Easy. All right? Huh?
Am I doing that?
Yep, all that's the same. So you want that tuck without the abs. You want to do the same breathing like we did on the first move. That's going to reach a little bit forward, but make sure you get the tucking and all that in the same order. So I went with this because quadruped was a bit tough. Gravity pushing him down made it hard to get the tuck. So we're going to go with this move instead just to see if we can get an improvement.
So I start flat or I start arched?
However you want to do it, yeah. But it should be a little easier because we're essentially not going against gravity to get the tuck. Got it? That's better. So you got no abs. Squat down a little bit lower. There. Keep weight on your heels. Are you feeling a little bit of quad?
Yeah.
Awesome. So right arm's going to reach forward. And we're going to go silent in through the nose. Long sigh. Reach this arm a little bit forward like that. So I'm just going to use that to assist the lower rib cage. Exhale, reach, 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 reach. Good. Just make the exhale really slow and reach your arm forward a little bit, B. Awesome. Yep. And rest. How's that? Yeah, that one's hard. Yeah, and I've been finding lately with quadruped, I keep making the same mistake. I don't make the same mistake twice. I usually make it like 10 or 20 times. But if you, sometimes starting people in quadruped, it can be a little bit tough because you have the reach component. They're essentially pushing their rib cage up against gravity. Problems ensue. Go ahead and try it again. And just really get that reach. Tuck. Yep. Come down a little bit. There, should have quads. And so I'm still focusing most of my coaching on the exhale and the tuck, but I'm adding a little bit of some reaching components and things like that with it. Nice. And you'll notice as I'm going on, I'm trying to provide less cues because I want Brad to get a sense of what it feels like. And that's why I ask a lot of questions. How was that? Did you feel this? Get his feedback because he's going to tell you what he needs and what's best for him. Good. How was that? Felt okay? Cool. Let's see what happened. So we'll go back to the table, see what's crack-a-lacking. The moment of truth. Did we get more internal rotation? It's definitely a little better. Not great, but it's definitely more than what we started. That's a little easier. So we gained about 10 degrees of flexion. It's pretty good. Yeah, definitely more than what we started. I mean, you started with about 10 to 15. We say we got about 25 both sides. So I would be happy with that as a session. And so the big keys that we could say for Brad, narrow ISA, needs internal rotation, but first we have to teach the stack. So focused on making sure he had the pelvic component and the exhale. That was the first priority. That's why the Lewitt was useful. I tried to add the reach with quadruped. Didn't go well. That's okay. That's part of the trial and error that we get when we're working with people. Ended up choosing the wall squat because it's not as difficult against gravity. It's got the support of the wall. We got to add a little bit of the reach in the mix, and we got some good improvements. We got shoulder internal rotation improved, a little bit better hip flexion, nice improvements in hip IR. I'm pleased with today. Awesome job.